Hey, what's going on, you guys? Today we're going to be talking about the brand new Sony a7 IV. If you guys don't know, the Sony a7 series are very different. The S is for video, the R is for photos, and the a7 is just for hybrid shooters. Now, the reason this is a hybrid camera and it's best for any hybrid shooters out there is because it doesn't have as many megapixels as the R or as crazy video settings as the S. It has 120 in 1080 for video, and then it does 4K 30, 4K 60, but the 4K 60 does have a crop. And then it has 33 megapixels. One of the cool features it has that I don't see a lot of people talk about is it has skin smoothing right out of the camera. I know the GFX 100, which is a Fuji like $10,000 camera, it had that feature, and I thought it was super cool because when you can smoothen the skin in camera, and if it's good, I haven't tested, but if it's good, let's say like you're out on a shoot and you want to take a picture but post it on your IG right away, but you don't want, like, you know, the skin to look all ugly or anything like that. Or if you're doing a wedding and you're shooting the couples, the bride and the groom, with their guests, and then their guest wants the picture right away, which you can then just send it to your phone and then send it to them, and it has nice skin, nice color. So I like that part of the camera, and I really want to test it out. The Sony a7 IV has autofocus like the A1, and it's super fast, so it locks onto the eye, and as soon as you turn around or just move, it locks onto the head if it doesn't see the eye. So as soon as you come back, it locks on the eye right away, and it's super smooth. It stays on there so you don't lose your autofocus, because even in videos like this, you want the autofocus to always be on the eye. And then that applies the same to photos, which makes things a lot easier. When you're shooting photos, all you have to do is just put it on wide and then put it on continuous autofocus, and then I'll always hunt for the eye. There's no more autofocus, recomposing, and any of those hard old school techniques, because I used to use recompose, and man, some of those shots just doesn't come out clear just because I might have moved it a little bit too much at f1.2 or something like that. That problem is gone. Cameras nowadays has made it so much easier. I'll be doing a video on the best way to autofocus with a mirrorless camera soon, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss that video. You all know how much I love the flip out screen. I've talked about a flipped out screen forever. This camera, the Canon C70 has a flip out screen. My R5 has a flip out screen. Every camera I need from now on needs to have a flip out screen. I'm done with like camera that does not have a flip out screen. And the biggest reason is because of what I do with that camera. I do videos and photos. And for videos, it is the best thing for me, because like I said before, I don't have anybody behind the camera, which makes things a lot easier for me. I remember a time where I wanted to record myself and didn't have a flip out screen, and then honestly, the whole video, once I turn it around, it looks like this. Like I was talking and it literally was like this the whole time, and it sucks because I didn't know until the end of the video. But with a flip out screen like this one, I can see myself, which makes things easier. Sony has amazing buttons to customize. They have, I think it was like 12 to 16 buttons you can customize, especially on the Sony a7 IV. This camera, if you set it to photos, all the buttons change, right? If you switch it to video, that's all those buttons that you have set now change to video version of it. So you can reset all those buttons for videos. I think that's super cool because now every Sony camera is like your own camera. If you go and pick up someone else's camera, it's gonna be so different. That also could be a good and a bad thing, because let's say if you went on a shoot, you forgot your camera, or you're helping someone with the shoot and here you're like using their camera, but you have no idea where all the buttons are. Good and bad thing, depending on how you look at it. The top exposure comp button that I've never used, and I'm sure people have, but I personally never used. I'm so glad now that they have changed it to being able to customize. You can set it to aperture, shutter speed, ISO, which is a great way of thinking of setting that. And then also you have a lot more settings to set that, even your white balance. Or if you really do use exposure comp, you can leave it at exposure comp, which is crazy because now it makes you happy, whoever uses that dial for exposure comp, and it makes me happy who doesn't use that dial for exposure comp. Now I can switch it instead of just being a useless dial up there. It's only about $2,500. That is so cheap. I think that's $1,300 less than my R5. And I think for that price range, it is the best hybrid camera out right now. But I do have a Canon R5 and I think that camera is a lot better than the Sony Alpha 7 IV. My decision is different than yours. The Sony Alpha 7 IV is a great camera, a great hybrid camera. The word great might not even really describe it. I almost want to say it's perfect. If you're already invested into Sony's, then for sure this is a camera you should definitely consider, especially if you have the Sony a7 II, a7 III. This is a huge upgrade. If you're shooting videos, which you probably are because that's why you got Sony cameras like the Sony a7 series, then you definitely would want to get this, because having a flip out screen, you can have it up top and see what you're recording, you can have it below. There's a lot of reason to use that flip out screen. To be completely honest, I would have gotten this camera if I wasn't so invested into Canon gears. Okay, I already have the R5 and lenses, expensive lenses, and then I bought the Canon C70 and now I'm completely invested into this Canon system. I don't think I'm leaving because they haven't done anything wrong to make me leave. I have my cameras both and great for everything I wanted to do. So, am I switching? Probably not. But should you? If you don't have a system that you're into right now, the Sony a7 IV would be the best thing to get. Alright you guys, my name is Andy, and if you guys like this video, make sure you hit that like button. And if this is like the second or third video you've seen from me, make sure you hit the subscribe button already. I mean, kind of like my videos, right? Kind of. I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.